the first to know. Nsem-Pii TV.
Information free Jubilee House from the president time we meet CSOs no say Dr. Omane Boama ejuma no mukwakoye oboase ne say no mukwa launch program ebema large scale miners oma CD of some of omo concessions no ama small scale miners na omo free forest reserves ne water bodies no musua how to do responsible mining e was our concessions so eno na fofianto ata omuko efrimu enti ejumadi ana Dr. Omane Boama eba beyene na eba beboa one more into small scale mining how to learn responsible mining. Captain Smart ebuofu ding na Captain Smart ebuofu or say after the NDC executives at the various constituencies at the various polling stations omo and omo to galamsey dinti okasa ne say Dr. Ayine, the current Attorney General and Minister of Justice, no supervise the implementation of LI 2462. LI a man in Crawford Quine say omuntimi mining wa forest reserves, but omu mining via omunya forest reacclamation. Into no pass that agreement or kahumbi and a situation West in Ghana. Captain Smart Kasapa. Lawyer Paul Adom Otre enso etre na drink efa ho yenko tie.
Let me start with the video from Captain Smart of Onua TV. Let's look at it. Please.
Get about state of emergency. Remember, St. George. We care about state of emergency. Medaka. Mekai, Akufa the time, Medaka. Obia state of emergency. Adinza. NDC from 24 to I'm saying. Go to the various constituencies and check. The general secretary, the secretaries, the chairman, the women organizers. What we there to I'm saying? You think we don't know? We know. We know. I said DC. Our particular district, MC, our particular municipal assembly, MC, our particular metropolitan assembly. Na ye two galam say wo ho, na ye ntimi stop here. Na DC MC no almost so fast one say. Tell me. Shemo TV no so na catch me. The Committee on Subsidiary Legislation, it was chaired by him. Attorney General we say yenko two galam say awe ye kwai tamana akufa do wa ban mu ono na tena so mo mugitum parliament publish it ne part so omo de ba me ye be ma me catch now me say one fa sa subsidiary legislation committee no one publish committee no a report no so omo de ba na ayeni Okasa on Peninsula, me catch that say, Attorney General, I am sorry. But until then, he was the chairman of that committee. Ejitu say, John Mahama Attorney General, no, on Ejitu say, as the chairperson, see him go to Galam say, why is he not repealing that law? Why is he quiet about it? Yeah, bring the Attorney General speech and let everybody see him. You think we are in this country to joke? Me, I'm not a joker. Me, a Kofi Ghana. Me, Kofi Jumao. My joke, my jokey. Me, to interpretation moka. This Attorney General was the chairman of that committee. If Mahama says he wants to fight Galamsey, why are they not repealing that law?
That was Captain Smart. Now, what's he talking about? The law he's talking about is here. It's a LI, Legislative Instrument 2462, Environmental Protection Mining in Forest Reserves, Regulation 2022, LI 2462, passed in 2022, actually. Now, the point he's making about the attorney generals has to be understood. In Parliament, there are two committees that are chaired by the minority. Ghana has a really interesting argument, interesting situation in Parliament. That's one of the things that you can tell that we really were thinking in putting it together. There are not many things that you can credit us for thinking, but this one we were really thinking. So the Public Accounts Committee, because it's like an oversight sort of checks and balances committee, is always chaired by the minority, which is significant. So Abena Osasar is now chairing it. And then the subsidiary legislation is also chaired by the other committee. In 1997, Nana Akufo-Addo was chairman of subsidiary legislation back in the day. Now, so Dominic Ayine, as the opposition, is usually the ranking member of the Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee that chairs the subsidiary legislation. I don't know whether that's not automatic, but subsidiary legislation is chaired by a minority. So the point Captain Smart is making is that Dominic Ayine was the chairman of the subsidiary legislation committee that passed this law. Now, what is the law about? Charles BC will tell us a lot more, but it is about a law that allows people to mine in forest areas. But however, you have to do reclamation. My producer tells me everything is here. Let's read it. Enacted in June 23rd, 2022. The purpose is to regulate mining activities within forest reserves under the Environmental Protection Agency Act, EPA Act. The scope is provided a legal framework for permitting exploration, mining operations, reclamation, that's the key one, and post-closure management within forest reserves. Okay. So how are allies passed? It says the drafting. The relevant ministry authority prepares the draft. The legal review. The Attorney General reviews it. So it must have been Attorney General Godfrey Dame reviewing it and taking it to Parliament. It's laid before Parliament. The LI is formally presented to Parliament and referred to subsidiary legislation. Now, when it goes subsidiary legislation, they look at it, and after 21 sitting day rule, if Parliament does not object, it is passed and is gazetted. So the reason why Captain Smart is concerned about Dominic Ayine is that he was Attorney General when this was passed. And he's saying that he's now Attorney General. He was the chairman of the committee, when it was passed. And that he's now Attorney General. And it should be easy for him to advise President Mahama to repeal it if NDC wants to show any sort of interest in ending Galamsey, because Galamsey is prevalent in those forest mining areas, river, and all of that. So that's the point he's making. Okay, so now let's go to the interview. Before we do that, though, here's a 7-minute clip that we put together that you seem to have liked on social media. So we are repeating it about the Galamsey story. It has John Mahama speaking, it has Senor Jose speaking, it has Paul Adumoche speaking. It's only 7 minutes long. Have a look.
I'm holding Ghana now. And because of Galamsey in Tina, we were 80 tons per year. After year, 135 tons. Additional, Bebre free Galamsey. So we must be prepared to sacrifice in the fight against Galamsey. Say production will come down. It means that exports will reduce. And then also the issue of employment. Because employment in the Enankodani Bebre. Galamsey. Into Okotia Galamsey, a lot of the young people who currently are surviving with Galamsey would also get unemployed. Into those are two consequences.
If we don't fight for the Ghana that we want, we will not get the Ghana that we need. So if His Excellency the President, and I know him a bit, he's a good, nice man. Whatever is holding him, I don't know. John Mama is a good, fine man. His brain is on point. His children are sweet people. I can't understand that he would think of other people's children to drink this water. I don't think the first lady in her sanity would ever sit down and approve of any of this when one of the people she loves the most has died. Why should the minister of lands be raving and ranting as if he's the only one on the street? Where are the people who said 1 week? Sam George, my brother, Okujato, where are you? We have to call you out. My own brother walks in the here, Paul. You cannot change your mouth. Please, it's not about your party. It is about Ghana. There should be something we should stand for. Sam George said the president can solve this in 1 week. By doing what? Declaring a state of emergency. And that's true. If any president were to declare a state of emergency, nobody goes there. So that's true. That will solve the problem. There's no question about that. That is true. And if you say these things and you come to government and say that, well, we are in government, as you just said,
that the turbidity of the water is getting worse under your government, worse than when you said we should declare a state of emergency. At a certain turbidity level, you said declare a state of emergency. Turbidity level becomes worse. You now have the power, and you tell us that you don't want to declare a state of emergency, and we should listen to all this beautiful English being spoken by a lawyer that we have done this, we have done you and this and that. All that is okay. It's a political question. The acting Chief Justice told the bar conference this week that the Galamsey has become worse under President Mahama. Felix Kwachofosu, the government communication minister, says he needs evidence of that. He needs evidence of the fact that the situation has become worse. He said nobody has provided the evidence. He doesn't have the evidence. Kolebu Teaching Hospital is reporting things. He doesn't have the evidence. The turbidity of the water from Ghana Water Company, he doesn't have the evidence. These are the matters that is making the politics unbelievable. So this is the situation confronting the NDC. It is true that the state of emergency could stop Galamsey. It is true. The NDC were right in opposition, and those saying today are also right. Now this is the situation. NDC was in opposition, says that the thing is at 20%. You need to declare state of emergency, Mr. President. NDC comes to office at 60%, and they say, oh no, a state of emergency, it will come later.
Yes, own the politics. Council of State, Mr. President knows, everybody knows the kind of people who are there, that you find the people in there. The executive, they are there. Parliament, they are there. The only place where they are, in fact, even the media, some of them own the media. Yeah. Where's our hope? If Mr. President will not do it, it's okay. I'm tired. I've suffered under every government. You guys can come and punish me. It's okay. Somebody should die for something. Omani, my brother, he died for something. But his own people cannot even make what he died for even count. They are thinking that they've raised 3.something million or 6-something billion using government donations and all that blah blah blah. To use that to mask and say, I'm thinking of your family. That's the small thinking that you people have. Nothing. Small thinking. Until you give people money and that is it. It's not just for what he wants. He wants you to transform this country. That's why Omani would have been a fine president. Please, we should stand for something. If you're an NDC man and this is happening, talk to your people. Stand out. You should have honor. You can't be an MP with reasonability, with mandate, with allegiance to the Constitution of Ghana. And you see this and keep quiet and come and have the audacity to come and even discuss the fact that the president never used the word state of emergency. Nonsense. Do you have a heart? Do you have a heart? Do you have a conscience?
We're looking at the Black Stars. We have been told that government will be introducing a sports levy as primary revenue source for sports funds. I like what the way Samson Kujo wrote about. Can you give me something? Franklin Kujo. Can you give me Franklin Kujo? I like the way Franklin Kujo put it. So this is what Franklin Kujo said. He said, there are many taxes we already pay that do not make sense. That's Franklin Kujo's assertion. He is a policy think tank person, quite experienced at Imani. There are many taxes we already pay that do not make sense. Please look for one of them and replace this sports levy. Otherwise, as he put it, ebeye butu 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 butu. Franklin Kujo doesn't want to pay any sports levy. He doesn't want to pay. He won't pay. He says ebeye butu 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 butu. Then Kofi Bentel comes up also from Imani. Hail the next nuisance tax which will be withdrawn by the next government. Politicians never learn. Oh, that's interesting. Kofi Tonto says, if we pay a particular tax that does not make sense, you repeal it. You don't replace it with another nonsensical tax. It will be butu 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 in this country. Kofi Adams and President John Dramani Mahama have dreamed up an agenda to raise revenue to support sports. Ordinarily, that should be a noble idea. Why is it receiving bashing from even the civil society that are quite friendly to President Mahama? It's because they identify it as a nuisance tax. They think that it's a nuisance tax. And Ado Anaba Kwaku Amponsan says, betting tax out, sports levy in. Resetting agenda is on course. He's being sarcastic. Jasper Delali says, take it from the millions we spend on Black Stars. Let GFA make our domestic league more attractive to generate more revenue. Nobody, no civil society person wants to pay any sports levy. But we are tired in Ghana, aren't we? What is every, you come, Betting tax. MDC won elections on betting tax. They say they don't want to, nobody wants to pay betting tax. Betting tax is not tax from everyone. It's taxed by those who win the bets. So you go and bet Manchester United to beat Liverpool next weekend, which is my hope. I don't know whether it will happen. I sincerely hope it does. But they are playing at Anfield, so that's a big ask. We don't know how it's going to be. We are hoping that Ruben Amorim and who's the latest player in United who is good? Amad Diallo is a Senegalese or Ivorian boy. Very, very good player. He plays on the right. Mbuema plays for Cameroon, and he's also doing very well for Manchester United these days. But it's going to be a big ask because Liverpool are coming from 3 games defeated. They are playing at Anfield. Anfield atmosphere is going to be charged. I've been at Anfield before. There's no atmosphere like Anfield. So I don't know. But if you bet on that game and you win, the Honorable Ken Oforiatta was collecting taxes. The NDC rode on the back of this new sans tax, that they don't want it, that they're going to replace it. And some Ghanaians voted for them, especially the taxing people. I remember Shatawale was angry with this betting tax because most of the SM fans, they are betting and they are using it to do this and that. Then no, you say you want tax out of it. So NDC said no. E-levy, NDC said no. NDC takes out E-levy, which is an optional tax, technically optional. And then they bring in D-levy, whose options are limited because it has to do with petroleum, which connects to almost everyone. Now they take out betting tax, and the Honorable Kofi Adams here says that he wants to introduce sports levy so that we use it to take some money and give it to Accra House of Folk and Asante Kotoko and Football Association. The part of the reason why Ghanaians are usually unhappy with taxes is that they do not trust the management of the resources that come out of the taxes. That's really the problem. Many Ghanaians don't trust how this tax money will be managed. They are afraid that the tax money will be used to buy Range Rover, Land Cruiser, house, this is there for politicians. That's why Ghanaians don't like taxes. Because when they tax them, their road doesn't change. When they tax them, the street lights are still off. Greater Accra Regional Minister came into office and said that 2 weeks, I'll put all the street lights on. After 3 months, she said, if your child didn't get a placement, go and hire a private teacher. What is wrong with that? Just hire a private teacher for your child. These are the things she was saying. She had forgotten where she's coming from. These are the things she said. She told us that if after vetting, 3 weeks, all the street lights will be on. So the aggregate of the concern is that people do not believe that when the taxes are collected, it will be used for the intended purposes. Politicians must begin to show Ghanaians that this is what your tax has been used for. Nana Akufo-Addo was able to show that your tax has been used for free SHS. People, Ms. Bell, who was against Nana Akufo-Addo and supported John Mahama for good reason, testified in 2017 that she took a child to Achimota School of all places and they didn't ask for any money. She testified. That is one of the few times that Ghanaians have seen the appropriate application of national and state resources. Apart from that, and maybe one or two few instances, Kufuor's national health insurance also looked good at the beginning. Kufuor's public transport reinvigoration, Metro Mass also looked good at the beginning. But apart from this, you can't find any in the whole Fourth Republic where Ghanaians can confidently say that our taxes have been applied to this, our taxes have been applied to that. Anytime they hear the use of money by politicians, stealing, chopping, eating, that's the reason. Because if you say you want sports tax, it's not really a bad philosophical idea. But who is going to manage the money? How is the money going to be managed? So Franklin Kujo says we won't pay. He says he actually threatens violence. He said, Ebeye butu butu butu. Butu butu means violence. Mr. Minister, Franklin Kujo says there will be violence. If you like, try and bring some tax that you are calling sports levy. You will see. It's democracy at work. It's democracy at work. Did I say more? I won't say more.